back in Jacksonville, and the military flyover the stadium here. Drew Brees took notice as he waits along the sideline. Beautiful day here in Jacksonville. For the Saints, it's the start of 3 consecutive road games. And the Jacksonville Jaguars, their schedule is a real tough one. Sean Payton, who is getting back Marcus Colston into the lineup. Marcus Colston, who broke his collarbone on the opening night of the season against the Green Bay Packers, has made a quick recovery and is back in the lineup. And for a report on that, let's go to our sideline reporter for today, Jennifer Hale. Jennifer.
Well, guys, with Marcus Colston's return today, the Saints receiving corps is finally 100% for the first time this season. Colston returns from that shoulder injury with a metal plate in his chest attached with 6 screws. It is permanent. He's had quite the speedy recovery. He partially credits that to the use of a hyperbaric chamber, Sam and Chad. He owns one. It sits in his hallway. He climbs in and sleeps in it at night. He brings his iPhone and iPad in there. He even took it with him to the Super Bowl when the Saints made that trip to Miami. Chad, did you ever use one of these things when you were playing?
Well, Jennifer, I haven't, but using alternative medicine, using different things to get back out on the field, these NFL players know exactly what they need to do with their bodies, and it's quite remarkable what Marcus Colston has been able to do in the last 2 weeks. Absolutely.
That is Thomas Morstead, who will kick it off. The Jaguars won the toss and elected to receive. The Saints 2-1. They've won 2 in a row. The Jaguars 1-2. They've lost 2 in a row. Morstead is set. Back deep, Deji Kareem will receive for the Jaguars, and we're underway. Kareem, 3 yards deep, brings it back. Juggled it a little bit. Looking for some room. He gets up close to the 20-yard line. Chris Brzezinski, that was Abdul Kudus who made the tackle. And there is the young man we talked about, Blaine Gabbert, who played 3 seasons at the University of Missouri. And now in week 4, his second NFL start. Last week was a tough one at Charlotte at Carolina, where he played in a driving rainstorm. Gabbert with splits out Maurice Jones-Drew. Short drop, and the pass is through the hands of Jason Hill. And a flag comes in. Jabari Greer was covering on the play. Ed Hockley is our referee today.
Pass interference, defense, number 33, hook and turn. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
You're going to see right here with the receiver Jason Hill on his slant pattern. Watch the corner as he hooks and turns and pulls the receiver down. That's defensive pass interference. Jabari Greer knows it. But you can see right off the bat, Sam, Jacksonville really using their formations and using some different things right off the bat.
Off the play fake. Gabbert's pass is complete to his tight end, Mercedes Lewis, who's had only 4 catches this season. He's been bothered by some injuries, but they need him to be a big part of the offense. Checking out the rest of the offense for Jacksonville. We mentioned Mercedes Lewis, but Maurice Jones-Drew is the key, as Chad said right at the top, in running the football. Couple of changes on the offensive line. Guy Wimper goes from right tackle to left tackle. Eben Britton goes from left guard to right tackle. And Gabbert to throw again. Nobody open. Takes it wide and turns it into a nice gain. Good run by Gabbert. Out of bounds at the Saints' 42-yard line.
Dirk Cutter said Blaine Gabbert, they had him ranked first as far as the quarterbacks coming out of the draft. They love his arm talent, but they also love his mobility. As he has a play-action pass, 3 passes in a row to start the game. He sees that there's nothing open, gets outside the pocket, and is able to pick up a first down with his mobility.
Nice run by Gabbert down to the 42. First down, Jaguars. And they've got the fans into the game right away. He's hit as he throws, puts it up, and incomplete. Blitz from the outside by Roman Harper, the strong safety.
Sam, Jacksonville and their fans, they want to see more explosive plays. They want to see less conservative play calling. But we all know, and Dirk Cutter, the offensive coordinator, knows it does start with the running game, but they're definitely trying to get Blaine Gabbert into a rhythm, get the offense going, create some positive momentum to start the game.
And they go empty backfield with Jones-Drew in the slot to the left. Gabbert working out of the shotgun. Saints rush 5. The pass was tipped, juggled, and goes incomplete. Intended for Maurice Jones-Drew with Scott Shanley covering on the play.
This is a great matchup for Jacksonville. Maurice Jones-Drew on a linebacker in space. Maurice just knows he has to pull that ball in and create positive yards on first down. But that's the type of play that Dirk Cutter wants, to get the ball in space to Maurice Jones-Drew.
Jaguars 3rd and long here, 3rd and 10. They have not been good on third downs this season. 5 defensive backs in for the Saints. Quick outside of Mike Thomas. Thomas is hit and brought down at the 38-yard line. That'll bring up a 4th down. Jabari Greer with the initial hit on Mike Thomas, the #1 wide receiver for the Jaguars, and a good one at only 5'8", 198, but good quickness. So let's see. The offense stays on the field on a 4th and 5. What do you think?
This is an aggressive play call, and this goes along with the type of player and person that Blaine Gabbert is. He is confident. He's confident in himself and his offense. Dirk Cutter is showing it here.
They motion Jones-Drew back in front of the quarterback. Gabbert throws. It was tipped, and it's incomplete. Jason Hill, the intended receiver, was falling down, and the pass went off his hands, incomplete. And the Jaguars turn it over on downs. Jaguars are stalled. The Saints take over. On offense for the first time from the 38. 3 wide receivers, 5 defensive backs for the Jaguars. First pass is complete. And that is to Lance Moore up at the 43-yard line, a pickup of 6 on the play.
Back to the 4th down. Jason Hill right there on Jabari Greer, one-on-one. Blaine Gabbert recognizes the one-on-one coverage. A great route. Jabari Greer slips, and they just can't make the completion. That may be a turning point in this first quarter.
Saints have had trouble thus far in the first quarter on offense this season. They've scored only 10 points. Sproles shifting. Off the fake, the completion to Jimmy Graham, the tight end, who's averaging better than 16 yards per reception. The former basketball player at the University of Miami. Take a look at the Saints offense. Drew Brees, we mentioned, the quarterback. Pierre Thomas will be one of 3 running backs. Darren Sproles will be in there. The first-round draft pick, Mark Ingram, will be in. The offensive line has Brian De La Puente and Charles Brown each making their first NFL starts, with Olin Kreutz and Zach Strief out with knee injuries. On the carry, Pierre Thomas gets across midfield to the Jaguars 49-yard line, pickup of 3 on the play. Jaguars defense has been solid. The tackles inside have played well. Tyson Alualu and Terrence Knighton. The linebackers have been good, led by free agent signing Paul Posluszny, who played in Buffalo prior to coming to Jacksonville. Secondary has William Middleton starting for the injured Derek Cox. The completion to Jimmy Graham down to the 40. That's a first down for the Saints. Quick release by Drew Brees. I don't know if anybody releases quicker than he does.
He is very compact with his release. His throwing motion comes from his lower body. That's where he gets his power. You can see right there, gets up on his front foot, delivers the ball with accuracy. You saw those first 2 plays on first and second down. They mirrored each other. It was a draw and then a draw play action pass.
Darren Sproles in the backfield. 3 wide receivers. On first down, it's Sproles. Nice hole, and he's quick through it. Sproles, who broke a 30-yarder for a touchdown last week against Houston, takes it down to the 21-yard line. A pickup of 19. And I think Sproles has surprised the Saints with how well he runs the football.
Well, he certainly has. Even Sean Payton says, I've got to find more ways to get this guy some run plays. He's so dynamic. He's like Maurice Jones-Drew. He's small, but guess what? He is a football player. They like him in this system.
First down at the 21, Mark Ingram in at running back. And it's Ingram carrying the first-round draft pick with power. powers his way down to about the 16-yard line. He picked up 5 on the play. Mark Ingram, who isn't a big guy and doesn't have great height, but he's really solid. And he's one of they consider him their power back.
Absolutely, and Sean Payton has a great problem. He said, I have a package for Sproles. The challenge is to balance between Ingram and Pierre Thomas, getting their touches, making sure they stay effective throughout the game.
Here's 2nd and 5 with a fullback in. Breeze gets time. Throws short to Lance Moore. And he's down to the 10-yard line, a first down. The middle linebacker, Paul Pozlosny, with the tackle for the Saints. This is their 15th trip to the red zone with that high-powered offense. You contrast that with the Jacksonville Jaguars, who've only gotten to the red zone once this season. Sean Payton, who's got about 150 plays on that play card. And he's ready to use all of them.
He spends a lot of time working different packages, finding the right plays for each playmaker.
1st and goal at the 10. Sproles is the running back. Everybody out. Breeze to Sproles. Nice cut. Sproles to the goal line. And he stopped just short. Inside the 1-yard line. Darren Sproles, a great free agent signing for the Saints.
Jacksonville decides to go with coverage. 7 in coverage, playing a soft zone, trying to bend but don't break. There's nothing on the front side. Drew Brees comes back after the lookoff, finds Darren Sproles one-on-one at the linebacker, and you just can't teach this. This is something this guy is good at, one-on-one in space.
The fullback is Jed Collins. They split Ingram into the slot. Collins carries, and he is in. Touchdown. So the Saints, on their first possession, drive in for the score.
The Saints are going to go to a spread formation, looking for a matchup outside, get the Jaguars spread out, and then work the ball inside. And you can see, watch the elbow, watch the ball cross the plane of the goal line. Looks like a touchdown.
And the touchdown has been confirmed. Upstairs, 62-yard drive, and John Casey with Garrett Hartley put on IR this week. Casey will be the kicker the remainder of the season. He was signed late in preseason. For Jed Collins, a touchdown run for the Saints, a 62-yard drive. New Orleans Saints take a lead on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Drew Brees is all fired up, and Jed Collins should be fired up. His first NFL touchdown.
Sean Payton, when you deal with Sean Payton as an offense, you better be ready. You never know when your number is going to be called. He calls Jed Collins' number down on the goal line, his first NFL touchdown.
And there he is covering kicks on the next play. Thomas Morstead kicks it off. Deji Kareem will return from 3 yards deep. Oh, good pressure, good coverage by the Saints. Kareem stopped short of the 10-yard line. Saints coverage team strong. Blaine Gabbert comes out for the second time, now playing from behind. Drew Brees along the sideline. What's he looking at there, Chad?
What he's looking at, Sam, the first picture he sees is before the snap, a wide angle before the snap. The second picture is after the snap, so he can confirm exactly what he saw.
Jaguars on offense start from their 9-yard line. 2 tight ends in. Zach Miller, and the ball dropped by Maurice Jones-Drew, but he's able to recover back at the 7-yard line.
Look at the handoff between Gabbert and Maurice Jones-Drew. Looks as if he sticks it in his pocket. Looks as if Maurice may have taken his eye to the defense just quickly enough to where he just slid right through his pocket. This is certainly not how Jacksonville and Jack Del Rio wanted to start in their own territory.
Loss of a couple. Short drop by Gabbert. He's being pressured. He gets it to his fullback, Blake Brock Bolin, and Bolin is taken down at the 9. Time for an update for that. Let's go back to the studios in Los Angeles to Kurt Menefee.
Well, the Cowboys take advantage of a Matthew Stafford pick and turn it into a touchdown. Nice catch by Dez Bryant from Tony Romo. 25 yards on the score. The Cowboys have the lead already. 7-0. Sam and Chad.
Big test for the Detroit Lions, 3-0 in Dallas.
Test. A lot of talk about the Detroit Lions.
Here's 3rd and 10 for the Jaguars. Gabbert. Quick toss to Mike Thomas. And he turns it into a first down and a whole lot more. The chase is on. They bring him down from behind. Big tackle by Tracy Porter. But a huge gain, 55 yards. And that's what Mike Thomas can do. Third-year man from Arizona is quick.
A great call from Dirk Cutter. The same play they used on the last 3rd and 10. This time the Jaguars just blocked it better, caught the Saints in the same look. Mike Thomas splits the seam, and down the field he goes. You can see the great blocking by the offensive line, throwing their bodies on the smaller defensive backs, and let Mike Thomas work his magic.
Career-long reception for Mike Thomas, 55 yards. Here's Deji Kareem in the lineup in place of Maurice Jones-Drew. And the carry is for 4 yards down to the 40-yard line. There's Mike Thomas. A couple of quick moves, but that's the key for Jacksonville in their passing game, is to use Thomas's speed.
Dirk Cutter talked about we want at least 8 explosive plays throughout a game. They already have 3.
Brock Bolin, the fullback, is split out. Deji Kareem remains in at running back. There's Kareem. Never got started. The ball pops loose. And the scramble for the football. The Saints come out of the pile with the ball.
The ruling on the field is that the runner was down by contact before the ball came loose.
Roman Harper, the safety, knocked it loose. But as Ed Hockley said, the ruling is he was down by contact.
Greg Williams is adamant about his defense being able to stop the run, and when they get around the ball carrier, strip the football, get the ball back to Drew Brees. You can see right there, looks as if his backside may have been down. We'll have to take another look. Sean Payton obviously
he's challenging.
thinks it's close.
He's got the challenge flag out. Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator, he wants those takeaways. New Orleans, the Saints have had only 2 takeaways this season. Sean Payton challenging that he was down by contact. However, I think what Ed Hockley might be saying is the ruling down by contact, you can't get the ball back here. Let's see.
New Orleans has challenged the ruling on the field that the ball was down by contact.
All right. He will take a look. The challenge is made. On the other side, Jack Del Rio getting the explanation. Deji Kareem waiting for the decision.
In order to reverse a ruling on the field that a player was down by contact, there must be 2 things: video evidence of the fumble and a clear recovery. The ruling on the field stands as called. It is 3rd down.
All right, the explanation from referee Ed Hockley. So obviously not clear as to whether it was a fumble. There's the ball. What do you think, Chad?
I think his backside and his right elbow were both down before that ball moved. And they obviously they needed both things. That was a great explanation by Ed Hockley. They needed both things to occur.
3rd and 5. New Orleans charged with a timeout. Out of the shotgun, Gabbert's going to run the ball with Jones-Drew in front of him. He dives for the first down marker. There's a flag on the play. Right at the 35-yard line. The first down marker is the 34. Let's check out the flag.
That was certainly, Sam, a design running play for Blaine Gabbert to take advantage of his mobility.
Holding, offense number 80. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, third down.
It's on Mike Thomas, the wide receiver.
And here you see the difference between third and medium, third and long. Third and medium, they can use those type of plays with Gabbert moving around in the pocket to get those 5 yards.
Now, we did have another view of Gabbert's mobility. Took the snap and took off, looking for the first down. The ball back to the 47-yard line. Maurice Jones-Drew split out to the left in the slot. Empty backfield. Gabbert being rushed, steps up, throws short, incomplete. Want to get it to his tight end, Mercedes Lewis. Closest man to it was Jonathan Casillas, the Saints linebacker.
Looked as if maybe Blaine Gabbert had his arm hit as he was trying to step up in the pocket. The Saints only had a 3-man rush, but they were able to get a rush from the outside on the right side. Dirk Cutter really trusting his offensive line, even though they moved some guys around. You're going to see Blaine step up in the pocket, and you see right there, just a slight graze of the ball affects the trajectory of the ball, not being able to get it to Mercedes Lewis.
Saints have been getting good pressure this season. Here's Matt Turk. Put the nose down, wants to drop it inside the 10. It did. It bounces sideways, and it's out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. That's something Matt Turk has been working on all week, and he got it out of bounds inside the 5.
Back in Jacksonville, and sometimes, Sam, you can still teach an old dog new tricks. The 16-year vet here, Matt Turk, has been working with Russ Purnell, the special teams coach, to work on that rugby-style kick to pin the offense back in their own territory.
And it worked. Breeze from his own 4. Out of the backfield, Mark Ingram is shoved back by Rasheed Mathis. The cornerback did a good job. And the Jaguars defense fired up. A gain of a yard on the play. Bring up a 2nd and 9. Drew Brees is 6 for 6 thus far in the game. 35 yards.
Drew said this may be a game where he has to be more patient. There may be some 15-play drives because of the style of defense that Jacksonville plays.
They want the crowd noise to the Jaguars defense. Fullback is Jed Collins. The tight end Jimmy Graham motions. Flag on the play. They stop it. False start against the Saints. That'll set them back 2.5 yards. There's no play. Jimmy Graham got up and he's going at it with William Middleton, the cornerback, number 29, and Clint Session, the linebacker.
Before the ball was snapped, false start by the right side of the offensive line. Half the distance to the goal, but 2nd down.
You're going to see Charles Brown right there flinch, take an extra movement. As the Jacksonville defense was shifting their front, he thinks it's time for the ball to be snapped, and he flinches.
A lot of noise. Charles Brown, 2nd-round draft pick last year out of USC, his first NFL start. Off the play fake, Breeze throwing deep, and it's incomplete. Want to get it to Jimmy Graham, the tight end. He was double covered on the play. The middle linebacker, Paul Postlosny, was back along with the safety. Jimmy Graham, the former basketball player at Miami, 2nd year in the NFL, and he has really gotten out of the gate with a loud boom.
His talent is remarkable, but what Sean Payton and Drew Brees are both impressed with, his drive to be great. Drew said he can be one of the best ever. That's a tall order for this guy, but he certainly has the talent and potential.
Saints have to get to the 14 for a first down. Darren Sproles is in. And he's in the slot. Everybody out. Breeze from 8 yards deep in the end zone to Sproles. And he's got a first down. This is one of the most versatile backs. Reggie Bush left the Saints, and everybody knows his explosiveness. This back, Darren Sproles, brings more versatility.
Absolutely. He is very versatile in and out of the backfield. You can see Jacksonville playing a 2-shell defense, keep everything in front of them. But there sometimes is no defense for Darren Sproles. He catches it underneath, splits the 2 tacklers, and gets a first down for the Saints.
First down at the 17. Sproles remains in, the former San Diego Charger. Graham, the tight end, motions. Breeze rolls, being chased, steps away from Mincy, and completes it to Graham, the tight end, up to the 20. And time for another update for that. Let's go back to Kurt Menefee.
Well, a rough start for Carolina quarterback Cam Newton. Back to pass, a little bit high, and it's deflected. Into the hands of DJ Moore. He takes the pick six, 20 yards for the score. The Bears have a 10-3 lead, Sam. You got to cover your quarterback Chad Pennington's eyes on a play like that, right?
Wants to run it.
They read Cam Newton very well, and Lovie Smith thrilled that his guys got a pick and a return for a touchdown. That handoff to Mark Ingram, and Ingram gets close to the first down. We are late in the first quarter, minute 20 remaining. The Saints with a 7-0 lead, and he got enough for the first down. Again, the rotation of the backs, and it's difficult for Sean Payton. He loves all three backs.
Can you imagine trying to get all these guys the ball?
Ingram again, this time a short pickup on the play. Ingram was the second pick in the first round for the Saints. They picked Cameron Jordan, the defensive end, who's starting for them with their first rounder. But Sean Payton was telling us last night he feels that Ingram is destined to be a star in the league.
It's because of how he runs with the football. He runs with the mission. He runs with the purpose. And you could see it that play before, 2 plays before, he broke 2 or 3 tackles before he went down.
Breeze works out of the shotgun. Sproles comes back into the slot. They pick up the pressure. Pass is complete. Once again to Darren Sproles. Sproles is the leading receiver on the team. He came in with 21 catches. The ball up to the 39-yard line. It's a first down as the final seconds tick off in this first quarter. 11-yard pickup for Sproles. And looks like Drew Brees was going to go to the sideline. Let the remainder of the time tick off here in the first quarter. The Saints wanted a fast start. Their first possession, they got it with a 62-yard drive for a touchdown and a 7-0 lead. Now they've started from their own 4, and they're out close to the 40-yard line. End of the first quarter in Jacksonville. The Saints lead the Jaguars 7-0. Jacksonville, our aerial coverage today is brought to you by DirecTV, and at the control of the blimp is Chad Pennington.
I'm flying high today, Sam.
You're multitasking. From the 39, we start the second quarter. Drew Brees puts it up. He's got a man, and he completes it to Robert Meacham. Meacham, who was the big receiver last week against Houston in the first half, comes up with that catch.
Jacksonville is actually in cover 2. You're going to see Rasheem Mathis peek in the backfield because of the play-action fake, and then Drew Brees being able to hit Meacham in the hole between the corner Mathis and the safety, Dwan Landry. That is a scheme play there. They know that the corners, when Jacksonville is in the 2-shell defense, they are responsible for the run force. If they can get them to hesitate on the play-action fake, they have some nice windows downfield.
Drew Brees 10 for 11. That last play picked up 25 yards to the Jaguars 36. On the carry, Mark Ingram. Couple of nifty moves inside. Gets inside the 30 to the 29. Dwan Landry, the free safety, with a tackle on Mark Ingram.
And a play like that, Sam, that is why the running game is still important for the New Orleans Saints. We all get caught up in their passing game and their explosiveness, but the run game is so important to stay balanced so they can use the play-action game to get the explosion plays in the passing game.
And yet the Saints at times will pass the ball 14 times in a row. They did that last week.
Absolutely. Sean Payton, he told me that Parcells tells him, pay attention to the game.
Brees handing the Sproles. Sproles with quickness. There he goes again. He's tripped up and falls forward to the 13-yard line. Darren Sproles has 3 touchdowns this season. 1 on a punt return, 1 on a run, and 1 on a reception.
Every time this guy touches the ball, it's a potential for a touchdown or a big play for the Saints. You can see they have a nice rhythm here. They're working a zone blocking scheme. Darren Sproles picks his hole, makes the first tackler miss, gets up in there for a nice play for the Saints.
Saints with a first down at the Jaguars 13. It's Sproles in the slot. The fake, Breeze out to Sproles with some room, heading for the corner, and he's wrestled out of bounds at the 1-yard line.
And here's the beauty for Drew Brees and of Drew Brees, Sam. That was his third option. He pump faked, he looked to number 1, he looked to number 2, dumped it down to Sproles. What a great third option to have in Darren Sproles.
And how about Drew Brees as a recruiter? Who did he call? Darren Sproles. As soon as the lockout was settled, he was on the phone. They had worked out together in the offseason in San Diego. He knew Darren Sproles from when Drew was in San Diego, and he worked him to come to New Orleans. Off the play fake, Brees throws, Jimmy Graham, touchdown!
A Tony Gonzalez type.
Sorry, Chad. Third touchdown of the season for Jimmy Graham.
Tony Gonzalez type. Drew Brees does a great job with his play action fake. He gets it to the outside, gets the ball quickly into Jimmy Graham's hands. You can see that the linebacker sucked up on the play action. Graham makes the play, and then the spike for the touchdown.
That was Russell Allen he beat. Man, he can get up there.
He can.
That big
basketball player.
That's right. 12 plays, 96 yards. The extra point by John Casey is good. The powerful Saints offense is rolling. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns.
Is sponsored by Sprint. All football, no limits. Only from Sprint. By the Chevy Silverado HD, Motor Trend's 2011 Truck of the Year. And by Triple Hops Brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness.
Great start to the game for the New Orleans Saints. Sean Payton's offense clicking with a 14-0 lead. 12 plays, 96 yards. And once again, Drew Brees with a touchdown pass. 31 consecutive games in which he's thrown a touchdown pass. Thomas Morstead kicks it off. Deji Kareem is deep, but he watches it sail over his head through the end zone for the touchback. And we mentioned 31 consecutive games with a touchdown pass. That's the 3rd longest streak in NFL history. Johnny Unitas, 47 consecutive games. Brett Favre, 36. And now Drew Brees at 31, breaking the tie he was in with Dan Marino.
Some remarkable company. Look at Johnny Unitas. There has to be 16 more games to catch that guy.
That's right. Oh, is he something special? But so is this man, Drew Brees, who came to New Orleans, and he and Sean Payton have been a great combination. Offensive-minded head coach, and Drew Brees has developed into one of the premier quarterbacks in the NFL. 2 tight ends, Gabbert being chased, gets rid of it, and a good catch on the play by Mike Thomas at the 28-yard line. Good effort by Thomas and a good job by Gabbert to keep the play alive.
Here's the mobility of Gabbert, being able to drop back, check what he has, feels the pressure from the backside. A great feel from Gabbert there, and a great snag by Mike Thomas.
From the 28. Well, the Jaguars did not want to play from behind. This is not what you want for your rookie quarterback in his 2nd NFL start. Maurice Jones-Drew pushing the pile close to the 30-yard line, and it looks like he got there for the first down. Good effort by Maurice Jones-Drew, who has rushed for over 1,300 yards in each of his last 2 seasons. And he missed a couple of games at the end of last year with an injury, but he's healthy again. And he wants, on game day, he tells the coaches, I want the ball every play.
Every play, I want the ball. Throughout the week, I'll joke and be relaxed, but on game day, it's my game, Maurice Jones-Drew says.
From the 30. With Greg Jones, the fullback. Jones-Drew tried to cut it back, and the Saints were waiting for him. Loss of half a yard. Well, we know football is rolling, but so is baseball in the playoffs. And what's coming on Fox is the American League Championship Series. It begins Saturday with Game 1, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, only on Fox. Yankees with a big win last night in Game 1.
Big grand slam, Robinson Cano. I even paid attention, Sam.
Good job by you. Gabbert gets protection and finds Jason Hill. Hill to the 48-yard line. Time for another update. Let's go to the studio to Kurt Menefee.
Michael Vick working his magic against the Niners. Somehow escapes the rush and then finds a wide-open Clay Harbor in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. And the Eagles are on top of San Francisco 7-3 early in the second quarter. Sam and Chad.
How does he do that?
A magician, that's what he is. It's unbelievable, and for him, where he's gotten better, he's kept his eyes down the field, being able to deliver that strike for a touchdown instead of taking off running.
With that sore right hand and all, Michael Vick playing today for the Eagles. Jaguars first down at their own 48. Gabbert puts it up deep, and he overthrows Jason Hill, who was double covered on the play. Jabari Greer and Michael Jenkins with the coverage on Jason Hill. Malcolm Jenkins, Coach Greg Williams refers to him as one of the best players he's ever coached. Just smart and knows all the calls out there and knows where to put everybody in the right position.
Best all-around defender they have in the secondary, and he says he's driven to be great. I love this kid.
Gabbert 6 for 11, 97 yards. Off the play fake, puts it up again, in trouble. They got him. 11th sack of the season for the Saints. Give this one to Roman Harper, the safety, who now leads the team with 3.5 sacks.
That's what Roman Harper is all about, pressuring the quarterback, but you're going to see this is Greg Williams emptying out his playbook, bringing the defenders. He's going to add on with Jonathan Vilma. They've got man coverage, but not enough time to get the football down the field. Watch Blaine as he tries to work the pocket, and there's so much penetration in the pocket, he has nowhere to step up.
Greg Williams is tough on rookie quarterbacks. Gabbert works out of the shotgun on 3rd and long. They have to get to the 42 of New Orleans. The completion to Dillard. Down to the 45. There's a flag on the play. 4 flags down on the field. Jared Dillard with the reception. His second of the season. And we check out the multitude of flags.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 58. 15 yards added to the end of the run. First down.
That's a tough one on Scott Shanley.
Well, here's what happens, Sam. You get a receiver in space on a linebacker, Scott Shanley. He's doing everything he can to try to get this guy down before the first down marker. Huge play for Jacksonville. Blaine Gabbert is doing a great job staying in the pocket, staying composed, and delivering the football down the field accurately.
And the Jaguars 1st and 10 at the Saints 30. Deji Kareem, the running back. Greg Jones, the fullback. Kareem following Jones around the corner. And he gets down to the 27-yard line. Pickup of 3 on the play. Jolon Dunbar, who was at middle linebacker last week for the Saints with Jonathan Vilma hurt. Vilma back today, is back in at middle linebacker, and Dunbar moves over to the strong side.
Dunbar played well last week for the Saints, had double-digit tackles. Now Vilma comes back in. They have 2 injuries at the Sam linebacker position. They move Dunbar to the Sam linebacker position.
Here's 2nd and 7. Mercedes Lewis motions. Off the play fake. Gabbert too high. Intended for Dillard. Jared Dillard. The 3rd-year man out of Rice.
Blaine had exactly what he wanted. He just rushed the throw a little bit, saw how open Dillard was, and it just came out of his hand a little hot. But he's doing a really nice job of working the pocket, working his receivers. You can see Dirk Cutter is not trying to be a run-first team right now. He knows that on 1st and 2nd down, they've got to get some explosion in their passing game.
Dirk Cutter, the offensive coordinator, down on the sidelines alongside the head coach, Jack Del Rio. Here's 3rd and 7. Gabbert throws, and a diving catch by Mercedes Lewis at the 14-yard line. That's another former basketball player and a Pro Bowl tight end.
This is the guy Greg Williams was worried about. They haven't been able to use Mercedes Lewis recently, but he was worried about this guy because of the man schemes that Greg likes to use. That's a great matchup for Jacksonville.
Quick. They get the play off quickly, and the pass incomplete. The Jaguars hurried to the line. This was only the second time this season, fourth game of the season, where the Jaguars have had the ball in the red zone.
Second time, Maurice Jones-Drew said, we have to finish drives. We have to get the ball in the red zone and allow him to work in the running game, use the play action, get some points against this high, potent New Orleans Saints offense.
They split Maurice Jones-Drew out to the right side. Brock Bolin, the fullback, is in the backfield. Off the play fake. Gabbert. And a great effort for the catch by Zach Miller. The backup tight end, Zach Miller, wrestled it away from the defenders for the touchdown. An outstanding drive by the Jaguars, 80 yards. And Blaine Gabbert coming up with a couple of big plays.
This starts with Blaine Gabbert. You have a two-safety defense. He looks, he spines the tight end down the middle, makes a strike right down the middle of the field. That's how confident Blaine Gabbert is in his arm.
Josh Scobie's extra point is good. That's a 12-play drive. And Zach Miller, the second tight end, is the man on the receiving end of a 14-yard touchdown pass.
Back in Jacksonville, tight end Zach Miller is going to work the middle of the field versus the Saints two-safety defense. Watch the anticipation from Blaine Gabbert. Puts his fifth foot in the ground, lets the ball go before Zach Miller takes it to the post. That's why the play was successful.
What's the importance of when you say put that foot in the ground?
He didn't wait for Zach Miller to come open. He believed in Zach Miller would get to the hole that he saw. He let the ball go early. The Saints didn't have enough time to react to it.
Blaine Gabbert was 5 for 8 for 80 yards on that drive, including being sacked. On the return, it's Darren Sproles. Hops by one man and is down at the 21-yard line. Sproles, the man of many responsibilities for the Saints. Saints' lead has been cut in half. It's 14-7 thanks to that catch by Zach Miller.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Chevrolet Volt. It's more car than electric.
Join the NFL's Crucial Catch campaign in the fight against breast cancer. Visit NFL.com/auction to bid now on authentic game-worn NFL pink products. All proceeds benefit the American Cancer Society. And the players wearing gloves, shoes, and other items that you can bid on. Saints start from the 21. Drew Brees drops it off to Pierre Thomas, who gets a block. Works his way up the sideline and is out of bounds up at the 40-yard line, a pickup of 19. Now let's go down to the field where Jennifer Hale is enjoying the sunshine. Jennifer.
It is bright and sunny, Sam. Those game-worn items that you were talking about, cleats, towels, wristbands, even the footballs for the month of October will have those pink ribbon decals. This is a Crucial Catch's third year. Last year, a tremendous fundraising effort, more than $1 million raised for cancer awareness. You know, it's a cause near and dear to Saints punter Thomas Morstead's heart. His mother, Isabel, is a breast cancer survivor. She beat the disease back in 1999. She's been cancer-free ever since, and now she never misses a Saints game, whether it's home or away. Guys?
Thanks, Jennifer. That pass ruled incomplete. There is Thomas Morstead, and his mom is at today's game. There's Mom. Big fan.
Moms are always big fans, Sam. Big fans.
Your mom go to most of your games?
Most of the games. She's watching this game right now.
There you
Mom.
go. That was only the second incompletion for Drew Brees. Now let's see, is Jack Del Rio going to challenge this? He wants to challenge that it was a catch and a fumble. As Ed Hockley talks things over with his fellow officials. Let's take a look, Chad.
As Drew Brees lets the ball go, does the receiver, doesn't look like he gains possession. He first has to catch it, gain possession, and then make a move to become a runner before it is a catch.
I agree with you. I thought it was the...
Jacksonville is challenging the ruling on the field that the pass was incomplete.
I don't think he had possession, but they'll check it out as Jack Del Rio uses the challenge with his team trailing by 7. Jaguars head coach Jack Del Rio, who challenged the play, the incomplete pass ruling.
Never had control of the ball. It was moving the whole time. Therefore, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It was an incomplete pass. Jacksonville is charged with their first timeout.
Well explained by Ed Hockley. Jed Collins, the fullback, juggled the football, never had it, as Chad said earlier. Sean Payton on the other sideline.
Well, and why would Jack Del Rio try to challenge something like this? He understands the importance of having the opportunity to have a turnover here on the Saints 40. This is a huge drive for Jacksonville. The Saints have scored on both of their drives. They need to stop to take care of this momentum that they have offensively.
2nd and 10 from the 40. Off the play fake, Brees gets time, completes to Pierre Thomas, who's taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. Drew Brees, 14 for 16, 120 yards, 1 touchdown thus far in the first half. He passed for 370 yards last week against Houston, and he's had 3 touchdown passes in each of the first 3 games, 1 today, giving him 10 on the season. Only Tom Brady has more, came into today's action with 11. Jeffrey Henderson motions. They've got Sproles in the slot, plus 3 wide receivers. A blitz from the outside. Brees gets rid of it to Sproles with a good catch, and he's at the first down marker. It's very, very close.
Here's the footwork.
Blitz by DeJuan Landry pressuring Drew Brees.
Here's the footwork. Jaguars have the right defensive call on with DeJuan Landry coming off the edge. Drew Brees feels it, spins out of it, finds Sproles. Look at that footwork. Just a nice spin, nice tight, compact, not a lot of wasted movement. Being able to find his open receiver for the first down.
And it is the first down at midfield. Darren Sproles with 5 catches in the game, 26 on the season. Marcus Colston is in the game. Back from injury. Sproles almost trapped behind the line of scrimmage. Gets back to the line with a good effort. Matt Roth with pressure broke up the play. Almost made the tackle for a loss. There's Matt Roth, former teammate of yours in Miami.
Former teammate Matt Roth, intensity. That's the word for Matt. He plays with a desire and an intensity I've never seen before.
The guy that the Jaguars are missing on the defensive line is Aaron Campman, who's rehabbing from knee surgery, and he told us there's a good chance he'll be back playing next week. He saw some reps in practice this week. Here's 2nd and 10. Pierre Thomas finds a hole. Nice run. He ran into his own man, Colston. Colston, a good blocker, who was trying to block Drew Coleman, but a 15-yard run for Pierre Thomas.
Here we go with the trio of running backs again, Sam. Pierre Thomas now getting his work. They were able to hit him for a nice screen play. Now they're using him on the draw play. Sean Payton says this guy can do everything. He's all around. They like him in the screens. They like him in pass protection, especially in nickel and 3rd down, and he's also an effective runner.
Another good drive for the Saints. It started on the 21, now at the Jacksonville 35. Henderson motions. Brees with time. Puts it up deep for Meacham, and it was tipped away. Good coverage on the play by Dwight Lowry. Lowry was picked up late in preseason in a trade from the Jets, and now has worked his way into a starter at safety and is playing well.
Lowry started as a corner. Now he's a safety with Jacksonville. He makes a nice play on the ball, gets enough in there to where Meacham can't make a nice catch. You can see his left hand being able to cause enough there for Meacham not to be able to make a clean grab.
Brings up 2nd and 10 for the Saints. Sproles splits out wide right as the Saints go empty backfield with 3 wide receivers. Breeze rolls and throws too low for Darren Sproles. That'll bring up a 3rd and 10 for the Saints. They haven't been in 3rd down situations too often. Their offense has been clicking.
Well, and Jacksonville is starting to mix up their looks. They tried to play 2 safety defense the first 2 drives. Now they know they've got to get some pressure on Drew Brees to make him uncomfortable.
Saints are 2 for 2 on 3rd down situations in the game. You see the numbers for Drew Brees. Crowd gets loud. Pierre Thomas in the backfield on 3rd and 10. Brees. And it's knocked down. Incomplete. Good coverage that time by DeJuan Landry. Or make it Dwight Lowry covering the tight end, Jimmy Graham.
See Drew Brees throwing out of the pocket. This is exactly what you want from the Jaguars. You want those safeties matched up on Jimmy Graham, not a linebacker. Nice play from the safety.
And the Saints will attempt a long field goal. Chase Daniel is the holder. The long snapper is Justin Drescher. And John Casey will try from 53 yards. It's on the way. And it's got the distance. And it is no good. Jaguars will get good field position. Casey tried the long one, just missed. First time the Jaguars able to stop Drew Brees and the Saints after 2 touchdowns on their first 2 possessions. Now the Jaguars with great field position starting from the 43. And a little under 4 minutes remaining. Gabbert works out of the shotgun. And everybody out. Gabbert goes to Mike Thomas, who fights his way up to the 48-yard line, close to the 48.
Most important drive for Jacksonville and their offense was this drive, trying to get some more points on the board going into halftime. I look for Dirk Cutter. You look at that. It's not a run-first offense today.
Right.
18 passes. He believes in Blaine Gabbert and his ability on 1st and 2nd down to distribute the football.
2nd and 5 at the 48. They split one tight end, Zach Miller. Mercedes Lewis is tight to the right side. And Gabbert being rushed, in trouble. Down he goes. Will Smith takes him down. There's a flag on the play. May have been a holding on the Jaguars. But Will Smith came through strong.
Holding, offense number 63. The penalty is declined. Brings up 3rd down.
The sack, the 2nd sack of the game for the Saints, their 12th of the season.
It's a 30-second timeout.
A little over 3 minutes remaining. Blaine Gabbert to the sideline. What are your thoughts so far on Blaine Gabbert?
Been very poised in the pocket, delivering the football with confidence.
I have to tell you about November on Fox Sports as Fox Sports steps into the octagon with an epic heavyweight title fight as the #1 ranked contender of the world, Junior Dos Santos, squares off with undefeated world champion Cain Velasquez in the must-see live event you can only catch on Fox. Dos Santos versus Velasquez for the UFC Heavyweight Championship of the World, live Saturday, November 12th on Fox. Now let's get back to Blaine Gabbert. What are your thoughts?
Well, speaking of heavyweights, this is like a heavyweight fight. It's a full 4 quarters, and Blaine Gabbert in the first 2 quarters has handled himself nicely.
Empty backfield on 3rd and long. They have to get to the Saints 47. Throwing short to Jason Hill, slips one man, keeps it going, has the first down. Good job by Jason Hill. He made some great moves. Finally, Jonathan Vilma took him down with a pickup of 16. And a good call by the Jaguars.
The third time Dirk Cutter has used a wide receiver screen on 3rd and long. The Saints actually changed their defense here, went to more of a prevent cover 2 defense. You'll see them bail out. Watch the safeties bail out, the linebackers bail out. They have the right defense on. Jason Hill makes a great play for the first down.
Gabbard again putting it up every down. This one is long for Zach Miller, and it's tipped away. One-on-one coverage with Jabari Greer, and Greer able to go up and tip it away from the other tight end, Zach Miller. Jags have been going with a lot of 2 tight ends.
Well, and here's where you see Blaine Gabbert believing in his arm. This is a tight end on the Saints' best corner, Jabari Greer, but he believes in his arm. It's certainly a game of inches. Jabari Greer does a great job of tipping that ball away.
Blaine Gabbert has passed for 161 yards thus far in the first half. Here's 2nd and 10 for the Jaguars. Gabbert 11 for 19. Everybody out. He swings it out to Maurice Jones-Drew. And he is pulled out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Pickup of 3 on the play. Bring up a 3rd and 7.
Jacksonville using Maurice Jones-Drew, similar to New Orleans using Darren Sproles, trying to get him out of the backfield, get him in space one-on-one.
Now, let me ask you, it's early in the game, relatively speaking, first half, but the Jaguars are passing on every down. They're not using Maurice Jones-Drew the way we thought.
I think they've recognized that Greg Williams will go to an 8-man front.
2 minutes.
He will go to an 8-man front to stop the run with Maurice Jones-Drew and then come back.
We've reached the 2-minute warning with 1:57 remaining. These teams are dependent on guys who may be small in stature but big in heart and big in playmaking ability.
What I like about these guys, if you went to the combine, you probably wouldn't notice them, but they're absolutely football players.
Everybody out. Gabbert. Pass intended for the running back, Deji Kareem, coming out of the backfield. And that's going to bring up a 4th down for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And in the game, Darren Sproles of the little big men is carrying the torch with 3 rushes for 34 yards, 5 catches for 56, and a kickoff return for 27.
Well, he's so valuable, and you can see where stats like 40s and height and weight and things like that really don't matter in between the white lines.
Matt Turk, nose down, kicks it almost straight up in the air. The ball bounces at the 26 and rolls out of bounds and has a good effect for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Turk still getting used to punting with the nose down on the drop, but this one had a good roll out of bounds at the Saints 13-yard line. This is strange for Matt Turk. He's had to make this adjustment.
It is. It's a rugby-style kick. You have to have the nose down so you get backspin on the ball, similar to a golf shot approaching a green. And he just got up underneath it a little too much, and the ball popped straight up in the air.
Now, maybe you get spin on your golf shots, but not me.
No, I use a shovel and a rake, so you know I don't get spin on my golf shots.
Saints from the 13 with 2 timeouts remaining. Empty backfield. And everybody out. Breeze fires and completes it to Lance Moore. Up to the 34-yard line. Moore, another one of those smallish receivers, but he finds the open space.
Well, and here's the empty package that Sean Payton puts in every week. They have a certain empty package that they like specifically for each team.
And here they go again. After a 21-yard pickup, Breeze waiting, goes to Moore at the 35-yard line. That's all. He was well covered by William Middleton. Middleton, the 3rd-year man out of Furman, starting in place of the injured Derek Cox, who came up with a hamstring problem.
And you see Drew Brees giving signals. This is his show. Sean Payton will give him a few thoughts in his headgear, but it's his show.
Brees pass is intercepted by Darrell Smith. Only Brees there, and he forces him out of bounds. Darrell Smith with a big takeaway for the Jaguars. third interception thrown by Drew Brees this season. 2 last week.
Watch the break of Darrell Smith. You're going to see Jacksonville, they're going to drop. Here's Darrell Smith right here, dropping right into the lane underneath Darren Sproles. He read Drew Brees' eyes. Watch Drew Brees' eyes here. Let's see what happens. He's looking it over. He thinks Darrell Smith's going to rush the passer. Darrell Smith actually drops back from his defensive end position and picks the pass off.
Big chance for the Jaguars. Everybody out. Gabbert throwing for Lewis. Too high. He was covered by Roman Harper, who are good friends off the field.
Here's Drew Brees. He's dropping back. He's thinking Darrell Smith is rushing the passer because he lined up at defensive end. He drops right up underneath of Darren Sproles and makes the play. Athletic linebackers, that's what Jack Del Rio told us about the linebackers. They're very athletic. They can run in space and make plays.
6th career interception for Darrell Smith. Maurice Jones threw in the backfield. 3 wide receivers and everybody out. Gabbert throws quickly. That was a timing play, but he threw behind Mike Thomas.
Watch Mike Thomas in the slot. You're going to see him right there. Going a quick out route. The Saints were in all-man coverage, no free safety in the middle of the field. Blaine just has to stay compact, not worry about the rush in his face, and deliver that football.
The linebacker, Jolon Dunbar, came on a blitz and had a good hit on Blaine Gabbert as he released. Jacksonville 3 for 7 on 3rd down conversions. Here's 3rd and 10 at the Saints 13. Gabbert pressured, the ball knocked down. Incomplete. Will Smith and Cedric Ellis with pressure, and I believe Ellis got the football.
So on 3rd down, Greg Williams decides to play coverage, only rush the passer with 4. They get a nice inside rush. Greg Williams told us, you sack the quarterback, you pressure the quarterback from the inside, not on the edge in the NFL. That's where you make him uncomfortable, coming from the inside.
Now the Saints have held here in the red zone, and as Greg Williams says, if we hold the team to a field goal in the red zone, that's a win for us. And the field goal try by Josh Scobie is good. For the Jaguars, they'll take it. It's points on the board off the turnover, and they've closed the gap to 14-10. Coming up, of course, at halftime is the Visa Halftime Report. Let's find out what Kurt Menefee has in store for us.
All right, guys, coming up in the Visa Halftime Report, everybody's hard at work here, getting all the scores and the highlights ready from a busy Week 4, including the Buffalo Bills trying to go to 4-0, and a big battle between the Steelers and the Texans. It's all coming up on the Visa Halftime.
I like how Kurt walks through the office and makes sure everybody's hard at work.
Exactly. He's checking on everyone.
Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy will check out the Lions and the Cowboys. And the Cowboys leading at halftime of that game. Darrell Smith. Linebackers are good for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They brought in Paul Posluszny, Clint Session, who used to be with the Colts. Posluszny used to be with Buffalo. And Darrell Smith, he's been one of their top linebackers.
Well, you can see the versatility, Sam. They use them in pass coverage. They use them to rush the passer. That last play, they faked rushing the passer with Darrell Smith, dropped him back in coverage. That's a very hard look for a quarterback to pick up.
It was 14-0. It's now 14-10. Scobie's kick. Sproles brings it out from 6 yards deep. And he's tripped up. Excellent play by Russell Allen. The backup linebacker got down, made a good tackle on Darren Sproles.
Looking at the QBs, what I like from Gabbert, no interceptions, no turnovers, taking care of the football. He's been able to have some explosive plays down the field. That's what they were looking for in their pass game, efficiency. With Drew Brees, total efficiency, had the one mistake, but they got lucky. It only cost them 3 points, which is certainly a win for the Saints defense.
All right, 30 seconds remaining in the half. What do the Saints do? Try to get down the field in a hurry with 1 timeout remaining?
With Drew Brees, we're going to push the ball down the field.
Brees goes to Jimmy Graham, the tight end, and he runs out of bounds at the 20-yard line. A pickup of 5 on the play.
Brees has passed it into number 80, Jimmy Graham.
Saints are really happy with Jimmy Graham. Their backup tight end, David Thomas, is out. with an injury. And Graham carrying the load as a receiver from the tight end spot. 3 wide receivers in. Sproles in the backfield with Breeze. Blitz coming. Breeze with a throw that's too high. Trying to get it to Marcus Colston. Sproles with a good job picking up the blitz.
And he is versatile, and they're going to ask their backs, all 3 backs, to pick up the blitz, not just run routes and catch screens and run the football, but pick up the pressure. Darren Sproles was asked to do that in that pass protection.
When Sproles was drafted in San Diego, Drew Brees was still the quarterback there. And he said he walked into the locker room and everybody kind of shook their head. How's this guy going to play football for us? And he's turned into one of the best. Breeze sends everybody out, steps up, throws, and completes to Meacham, who steps out of bounds at the 38-yard line. He was one-on-one with William Middleton. Pickup of 17 on the play. 12 seconds remaining, and 1 timeout for the Saints.
That was the play they were looking for, Sam. One explosive play to get to midfield and then be able to use their timeout to stop the clock.
Breeze gets some pressure, pulls it down, and runs and heads for the sideline, out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Picked up 5 seconds remaining. Time for a Hail Mary.
Well, that's a win for the Jacksonville defense right there. Not allow another explosive play to allow the ball to cross midfield. With New Orleans still having a timeout, they had every play in their playbook, and they were able to do a good job and force Breeze to scramble and get out of bounds.
Things started well for the Saints. They scored their first 2 possessions. They led 14-0. Then the Jaguars came back. A good touchdown drive.
That's their second. It's a 30-second timeout.
The Jaguars use a timeout here. What's the thinking here with 5 seconds to go?
Some teams call this a Kodak. They take a picture of what the offense is going to do with the Hail Mary situation so they can get their defense lined up appropriately so they don't have a big play with the Hail Mary.
Jack Del Rio, everyone knows that he's on the hot seat. I mean, the owner had come out and said he's got to make the playoffs. Well, this is a transition, a team in transition with Blaine Gabbert growing as quarterback. But Jack Del Rio said to us on Friday, I don't coach scared.
That's exactly right, Sam. He said you can't play scared and you can't coach scared in this league, and that's certainly not what I'm going to do.
With 5 seconds remaining in the half, Breeze puts it up. It's up for grabs. And it's knocked down incomplete. And that's the end of the first half. And a good first half. The Saints got a fast start, which they wanted. But there's a flag. We're not done yet. There's a flag on the play. We'll check that out. The flag is down at
There were
the
12 men in the field of the defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. We will extend for an additional play.
1 play.
It's still
So
second down.
the Jaguars, after the timeout, get 12 men on the field.
Well, that 5-yard penalty results in a first down. We will extend for 1 play.
So 1 untimed play.
Yeah, these are the things that just drive coaches crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You can see it. You have 4 down linemen, 5 underneath, and 3 in the back. That's 12.
So now with the ball at the 49-yard line, Sean Payton uses a timeout. And bring Drew Brees over to talk things over for one last play of the first half. As I started to say, the great start for the Saints, followed by the Jaguars coming back and making a game out of this.
Well, they're certainly where they need to be. They wanted to shrink the game, keep the game close, get it into the fourth quarter to have a chance to win. But on the other side, the Saints have to be happy with their offensive production so far, but they know they could certainly have more points on the board.
I like those shots from the blimp that you're getting us. You're doing a great job at the controls.
Whatever I can do, the more you can do, Sam.
All right, Jaguars have 2 players back at the 10-yard line. Breeze in trouble, gets away from one man, and is being chased by Kozlowski. Drops it off. Pierre Thomas with some running room, and now he's surrounded by Jaguars, and that's it. First half comes to an end. On the pass and run, Drew Brees was in serious trouble and got out of that. Good start for the Saints. They have the lead at halftime, but the Jaguars coming back. They took advantage of a turnover. The interception led to 3 points. And the Saints lead the Jaguars at halftime 14-10. As the teams head for their respective locker rooms, take a look at some of the highlights of the first half.
The Saints start fast. Sean Payton talked about starting fast, but then Jacksonville and Blaine Gabbert answer with a big strike down the middle of the field to Zach Miller, and that's why we have a 14-10 ball game right now.
The tight ends on the receiving end of touchdowns. We'll be back in Jacksonville with more beautiful aerial shots courtesy of Chad Pennington. On a great day in Jacksonville, we've got a good football game going. Moments away from the start of the third quarter with the Saints leading the Jaguars 14-10. Sam Rosen, Chad Pennington, Jennifer Hale is along the sideline. Okay, Saints get the ball to start the second half. What do you expect to see from them?
I expect mixture. I expect their draw running game mixed with their play action game, continue to be patient and get a long drive trying to get some points on the board early in the second half.
Jags had to grow in confidence with the way they played in the second quarter and got things going after they were down 14-10.
You can see Blaine Gabbert's confidence growing throughout the game as well. They talked about explosion in the passing game. They have 5 explosive plays of more than 15 yards or more. They're playing exactly how they want to play. Look for them trying to get Maurice Jones-Drew involved in the second half.
All right, let's take a look at some of the numbers in the first half for these two teams. The passing numbers, 193 yards for the Saints, 147 net for the Jaguars. Blaine Gabbert put up some good yards. 273 yards total offense for the Saints. And the time of possession fairly close. Jaguars came back in that second quarter. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL.
Looking at those statistics, Sam, you saw the 22 rush yards from Jacksonville. They certainly want to increase that number in the second half, get Maurice Jones-Drew involved in the running game. They need the running game. Yes, they want explosive plays, but they need the running game to match the explosive plays in the pass game.
Blaine Gabbert, passing for 165 yards, was sacked twice in the first half. Drew Brees, 20 for 27. Now, Sean Payton was telling us last night, I don't want to throw the ball 45 times in a game. But again, you're looking at that kind of numbers for this game.
Like we said earlier, he's going to pay attention to the game. Whatever the game calls for, that's how he's going to call the game via run or pass.
Josh Scobie to kick it off for Jacksonville. Darren Sproles, 9 yards deep, takes a knee. Let's find out what's going on along the sideline and rejoin Jennifer Hale.
Well, Sam, the Jags certainly aren't a run-first team today. Coach Del Rio tells me his confidence in Blaine Gabbert is sky high, and Gabbert is justifying that with every play. Coach Sean Payton says he's happy with his team's run game and look for even more balance come this second half. He says this opening drive is critical to establishing momentum for the Saints. Guys?
Thanks, Jennifer. And the Saints will start from the 20-yard line. Sproles is in the slot. They hand it off inside to Pierre Thomas. So they went with a 2-back formation. Sproles split out as a receiver, and Thomas picking up a couple of yards.
They like to use different personnels. Right there they have 2 halfbacks in the game. Some teams call that pony, trying to get 2 halfbacks in the game and not just a fullback, and be able to spread defenses out and then be able to run the football.
5 defensive backs in for the Jaguars on 2nd and 7. Sproles in the backfield with Drew Brees. Everybody out. Brees to the sideline. Nice play by Lance Moore. He turned on William Middleton Middleton never saw it coming, and just a perfect timing play.
Perfect timing. Jacksonville dropping 8. You're going to see right here the matchup right there. And watch Drew Brees and his accuracy. This is why this guy is a passer. Excellent toe tap, both feet by Lance Moore. But he puts the ball where Lance Moore can get it. William Middleton has no chance because his back is turned to the quarterback.
16-yard pickup from the 39. Mark Ingram barrels his way through and up to the 46. He picked up 7 on the play. Ingram has run for 28 yards in the game. Sproles 34, Pierre Thomas 21, as all 3 backs are involved.
Balance, exactly. All 3 backs getting a chance to run the football and run it effectively.
And Brees has connected with 6 different receivers in the game, as the Saints always find a way to get everybody involved. Here's Ingram trying to bounce it outside and is brought down just across the 45-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd and 4 for the Saints. Clint Session and William Middleton combining on the stop. Jacksonville's defense, after those first 2 drives by the Saints, they have played very, very well.
They've started to tighten up. Let's see what type of coverage and pressure they use on this 3rd and 4 situation.
Brees under center, the toss to Sproles. Makes the cut, gets the first down, and here he goes. Sproles down the sideline, a huge gain as he stepped out of bounds at the 21-yard line. What a run on 3rd down by Darren Sproles.
Well, and this is why 3rd and medium is so short, or so important for an offense. With the 3rd and short, they can run, they can pass. Watch Darren Sproles knife through the hole. He actually ducks under, uses his feet, and then gets down the sideline. Has great speed. He can see the defenders coming before they're there and has a great feel of when to know when to make the cut.
Big block by the guard Carl Nix to spring Darren Sproles for a 34-yard gain. Mark Ingram in the backfield now. Here's Ingram turning the corner and using his power to get down to the 16-yard line, a pickup of 5 on the play. Darren Sproles, the little big man. We've been talking about the matchup, Darren Sproles, Maurice Jones-Drew. Well, this day belongs thus far to Darren Sproles.
Absolutely, and you can see how Jacksonville has to get Maurice Jones-Drew involved, because right now the Saints are using Darren Sproles in the passing game, in the running game. You can see why Sean Payton says, I've got to get this guy some more touches.
Marcus Colston in the game. They split out to the left. They go inside to Ingram, slips 1 man, and 3 men force him back at the 14-yard line. As the Saints go to the ground game, Paul Posluszny, man who grew up in Pennsylvania, played his first years in the pros in Buffalo, didn't know if he'd be able to stand up in the heat in Florida.
But he was certainly glad to be back in a 4-3 defense. Yes. As a Mike linebacker, not in a 3-4. He loves it here in Jacksonville.
Pierre Thomas and Darren Sproles in the backfield with Drew Brees. On 3rd and 3. Brees under pressure. They got him. First sack of the game for the Jaguars, and a big one. And Austin Lane with his first NFL sack.
There's your sack, Sam. Right there, rushing 4, playing coverage. Great coverage in the secondary. Look at the underneath coverage. They're going to pass receivers off. Pass one off there with Devery Henderson. Pass another one off. And then you get a pass rush with 4 defenders. Makes it really hard on the quarterback because there's too many defenders in pass coverage.
38-yard field goal try for John Casey. He missed from 53 earlier in the game. And this one is hooked nicely through the uprights. 38-yard field goal for John Casey. The Jaguars come through with pressure and a sack on Drew Brees to hold the Saints to 3. In Jacksonville, where the New Orleans Saints have a 17-10 lead on the Jacksonville Jaguars. A 9-play, 60-yard drive was stopped when Drew Brees was sacked. And Sean Payton was a little upset with his right tackle, Charles Brown, on the play in which Austin Lane got in for the sack. Thomas Morstead to kick it off. Deji Kareem is deep for the Jaguars. Good kick, big leg. Deji Kareem just looks up, watches it fly over his head. Touchback with the Saints leading 17-10.
Here's Charles Brown trying to block Austin Lane. You're going to see Austin try to get Charles Brown moving up the field and then duck underneath. Why is that important? Because Sean Payton talks about with his center and his guards to be flat across, tackles run those defensive ends up the field and let Drew step up underneath.
Two-back formation. The fullback Greg Jones. Maurice Jones-Drew finds the hole. And here he goes. Whatever they said to him at halftime, he came out fired up. Big run for Maurice Jones-Drew of 41 yards.
That's the answer, Sam, for Maurice Jones-Drew. Another explosive play now in the running game. This is their bread and butter, allowing Maurice Jones-Drew to go downhill. And now watch his speed to be able to get to the outside and make a big play. Another look, he just runs with a vengeance. He runs with a purpose.
To the Saints 39-yard line. A couple of big plays. Deji Kareem is now at running back. The toss. And a nice play on the outside by Patrick Robinson, the first-round draft pick of the Saints last season, his second year in the league, and he made a good play.
This play is certainly made by Patrick Robinson right there. Watch him read the run action from the left tackle, and then he knifes up underneath the receiver because he's responsible for the force on the outside of the defense.
The ball back at the 41-yard line. 2nd and 12. Gabbard works out of the shotgun. Sends 4 men out. That pass intended for Mike Thomas, a little too wide. That'll bring up a 3rd and long. Patrick Robinson covering on the play.
Well, Greg Williams, he emptied his defensive backfield again, brought all-out pressure, cover 0 across the board. That means there's no safety in the middle of the field. Blaine Gabbert is seeing the field really well. He just knows he has to hit those one-on-one opportunities.
Gabbert has missed his last 4 passes, and is only 2 of his last 8. Here's a 3rd and 12. Big play for the Jaguars. Saints drop back deep in coverage. Gabbert steps up, and the pass is intercepted by Robinson. On the return, looking for some running room. And he doesn't have much, and he's brought down at the 32-yard line. So Gabbert put it up, and Patrick Robinson stepped right in front of it, getting the takeaway, and the Saints have the ball at their 32.
Today's game is sponsored by Verizon. Get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile. Call ** NFL from your Verizon phone to get NFL Mobile.
First NFL interception for the second-year man, Patrick Robinson. He started 4 games last season, played in 11. Second year out of Florida State. And for Blaine Gabbert, just a head-shaking experience.
Yeah, he knows, Sam. He knows he just made a mistake, and that's why Greg Williams loves Patrick Robinson with the improvement that he's made.
Pierre Thomas in the backfield with Breeze. Breeze throws to Jimmy Graham, his tight end. He's got a first down up at the 44-yard line, make it the 45.
Looking back at the pick, here's Patrick Robinson. You're going to see the New Orleans Saints defense drop 8 in coverage with 2 safeties in the back of the secondary, only rushing 3. Watch Patrick Robinson. Watch the cat and mouse game he plays with Blaine Gabbert. He gets up underneath of the route from the outside receiver and able to make the play. Greg Williams is telling him, hey, that's how you play defense, young man. That's what I've been trying to teach you.
He says he's the best athlete in the secondary for the Saints. Here's Pierre Thomas on the carry into Jaguars territory at the 47-yard line. Get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile. Call ** NFL to get NFL action right on your phone. I like that.
Absolutely.
Right? We'll leave the ballpark today. We'll check it out. We'll get some NFL action on our phone. For the Saints, 2nd and 3. Breeze completes to Graham down to the 40-yard line. Jimmy Graham, a favorite receiver. Not only is he good in those short passing situations, but he can get down the seam.
Well, and that's the problem trying to defend a guy like Jimmy Graham. You have to worry about his speed and his athleticism down the field, and then that's why he's able to pick up those smaller plays with the stick routes and the out routes underneath, because teams are worried about him stretching the field.
7 catches, 45 yards for Jimmy Graham. Mark Ingram in at running back. They've got the fullback, Jed Collins, in as well. Breeze goes outside, completes it to Meacham, and he's wrestled down by Darrell Smith. Time for an update, and for that, as always, we go back to Kurt Menefee.
The Tony Romo comeback tour continues. This is 3rd touchdown pass of the day to Jason Witten this time. Ties a Cowboy record, 20th time he's done that in his career, tying Danny White. 27-3, Cowboys over the Lions. Sam and Chad.
Thanks, Kurt. Nice job by Tony Romo as the Cowboys are kind of waking up the Lions to reality here. Lions were 3-0 coming in. Cowboys looking to go 3-1. Sproles in the backfield for the Saints on 2nd and 3. Good play fake. Breeze being chased by Austin Lane. The short pass to Graham, and he's shoved out of bounds by Dwight Lowry. Jags are also missing Courtney Green, one of their top safeties, out with an injury. Jags defense has been good after the early portions of the game. They've come up with some big stops. They need one here. Everybody out. Breeze quickly. First down, Marcus Colston. His first catch since returning from the broken collarbone in the opening game of the season. A great recovery by Marcus Colston.
Watch Marcus Colston over here on the left-hand side. Watch him work the zone. He gets up underneath, sits right down in the zone on the 30, on the 3 of the number 30, and makes the play. That's why offenses love this 3rd and short. They can run it, they can pass it, go deep, go short. They have all their plays in the playbook.
And Breeze has hit 7 different receivers in the game. First down at the 25. The blitz is picked up. Sproles gets outside and is ridden down inside the 20. Got by Middleton, but Jeremy Mincy, the defensive end, brought him down. Sproles has had a terrific game for the Saints, and he's such a threat.
Well, they try to get him the ball so many different ways. Screens, motion him out of the backfield. Most of the time, he's going to be a free release type of receiver. They don't want him trying to block too many pass protections, only when he has to.
3 wide receivers. The tight end Graham splits off, and Sproles stays in at running back. On 2nd and 5, it's Sproles, and he's brought down. That's a good play by Jeremy Mincy. Mincy has shown up in this game. He's had some pressures and some good tackles.
Here's Mincy right here on the defense's right side. Makes a nice clean move with the weak side zone play coming right at him. He's at the point of attack, and he does his job. Big play for the Jacksonville Jaguars right there.
Matched up against Jermon Bushrod, and that time Mincy won it. Here's 3rd and 6 for the Saints. And a timeout is called. The Jaguars use a timeout with the Saints driving, and a big 3rd down coming up. Jack Del Rio looking for a big stand by his defense here. On the 3rd and 6, the Saints are 5 of 7 in 3rd down conversions in the game. Empty backfield as Breeze stepped up. Now it's Pierre Thomas in the backfield with Breeze. Blitz coming, and he was hit hard. Paul Postlosny blitzing from his middle linebacker position. Hit Breeze hard. The pass incomplete, and a good stand by the Jaguars.
Exactly what Mel Tucker and the Jaguars defense wanted. Get some pressure on Drew Brees. You're going to see Paul Postlosny knife through there, be able to make a play on Drew. Wasn't a sack, but it forced him to get rid of the ball early enough to where he couldn't have the completion.
John Casey, 39-yard field goal try. Chase Daniel, the backup quarterback, is the holder. Long snapper is Justin Drescher, and the kick is on the way. And again, he hooks it right through there. John Casey Missed earlier from 53. He's made his next two. Saints with a 10-point lead. Captain Chad Pennington at the controls. And we've had some glorious shots here on a beautiful day in Jacksonville. Temperature in the low to mid 70s. Thomas Morstead to kick it off. Deji Kareem steps up and brings it back. Trying to get outside. He does. Nice return by Kareem. He's out of bounds at the 27-yard line. Next week, NFL on Fox. Most of you will see games involving the New Orleans Saints, the Seahawks and the Giants, the Eagles and the Bills, the Saints and the Panthers, Cardinals and the Vikings. Late game, Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the San Francisco 49ers. The Built Ford Tough Fox NFL Sunday pregame show begins at noon Eastern and 9 Pacific. Now the Jaguars. Last possession ended in an interception thrown by Blaine Gabbert from the 26. Gabbert being pressured, puts it up, and it's too far for Jason Hill. Saints with a 10-point lead. Gabbert 12 for 27, 165 yards, one touchdown. That was to Zach Miller in the first half, and one interception. The interception here in the second half. It cost his team 3 points. The Saints putting up the field goal. Saints defensively, what do you look for, Chad, from them? Here's Jones-Drew powering his way up across the 30 to the 33-yard line.
What I've seen so far from Greg Williams on first down, they play relatively conservative. Second down has been their down to add some pressure, try to confuse Gabbert a little bit, get some pressure on him to create a third and long situation. And then depending on what the third down situation is, playing coverage or all-out pressure, he's mixing it up.
Greg Williams, who was in Jacksonville as assistant head coach and defensive coordinator in 2008. Maurice Jones-Drew comes back, shifts back into the backfield. Gabbert being blitzed, throws it high and too far. And the blitz coming from the outside, Jonathan Casillas, third-year man out of Wisconsin. And the Badgers had a big win over Nebraska yesterday.
Yes, they did, but the Jaguars here had exactly what they want with Maurice Jones-Drew going down the sideline, and Casillas comes from the offense's right side and makes Gabbert throw the ball earlier than what he wanted to.
This will be a 3-and-out for the Jaguars, their second of the game. The punt by Matt Turk is a short one. He angled it. They were trying to kick toward the sideline to keep the ball away from Darren Sproles. Fans don't like the short kick, but the Jaguars don't want to return from Darren Sproles. Major League Baseball is in the postseason. The divisional playoff series are underway, but on Fox next Saturday comes the American League Championship Series. Fox's coverage begins Saturday. Game 1 at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, only on Fox. Matt Turk, the veteran kicker, 20 years in the NFL, 17 years.
The ball went out of bounds at the 38-yard line, the 38.
They've checked the position, and they've ruled that the ball went out of bounds at the 38, so even a shorter kick, 29 yards for Matt Turk. But again, the thinking behind the Jaguars is keep the ball away from Darren Sproles. Meacham in motion. Mark Ingram had trouble controlling the ball, and then Austin Lane with good penetration, along with Tyson Alualu combining on the stop. Mincy, excuse me, I said Austin Lane. It was Jeremy Mincy with Tyson Alualu.
Sam, this is a big drive for the Jacksonville defense. The offense was unable to complement them and get a drive going. They need to get a stop here of the New Orleans Saints and get the ball back to their offense.
Fullback Jed Collins is in and standing up in the slot. Fake draw. Breeze wants to go up. Goes instead to Ingram. Short pickup to the 40-yard line. Gain of 3 on the play.
Tackle made by number 51, Paul Posluszny.
Drew Brees doesn't seem like he's got anything deep. Is it that deep coverage for the Jacksonville Jaguars that's kind of dissuading him, keeping him away from those deep throws?
He's trying to be patient, but look for him to start pushing the ball down the field as these linebackers start to close on the underneath coverage a little faster than what they did in the first half. As they start to close, those deeper holes will be open in behind that underneath route.
Pierre Thomas and Darren Sproles in the backfield on 3rd and 8. Everybody out. Brees completes to Pierre Thomas. They wrap him up. He's fighting for yardage. He's short of the first down. That's a great job by the 2 safeties, DeJuan Landry and Dwight Lowry. They kept Thomas away from that first down marker.
Really nice job by the Jacksonville defense keeping things in front of him. But here's Sean Payton thinking, you know what, this is probably our most important possession of the second half. This is 4-down territory. We need to do this to create some momentum.
Really? All right, they're going for it. 3rd, 4th, and a long yard. With Ingram in the backfield, and they stop him. The Saints think they have it. I don't know. This will be some measurement here.
Mark Ingram on the carry.
Watch the push from the Jacksonville defensive line against the New Orleans Saints offensive line. They do a nice job of keeping him there, but you see the second effort from Mark Ingram being able to squeeze in there with the second effort and possibly getting this first down.
And he made it by the nose of the football. The effort, that little extra push by Mark Ingram, gets a big first down for the Saints.
That was all Mark Ingram saying. He had stopped his initial momentum. The Jacksonville defense did a great job of stopping his initial momentum. He kept his feet moving, slid to the right, knifed in there for the first down. Big play for the Saints offense.
Let's give a little credit to Brian De La Puente, who's in his first NFL start, an undrafted free agent last year. They brought him in, and he's playing for the injured Olin Kreutz and doing a good job at center. Straight ahead. Ingram fighting for a couple of extra yards into Jags territory. Pick up a 4 on the play.
Mark Ingram on the carry.
You don't think of an assist when you're talking about football.
All right.
But watch the slight lift by Jed Collins there for the first down.
4 yards.
Little help from the fullback. We've come to the end of the 3rd quarter, with the Saints leading the Jaguars 20-10. Fox NFL Sunday continues after a break from your local Fox station. Sam Rosen, Chad Pennington, Jennifer Hale in Jacksonville. The Saints are controlling the football. They're keeping it away from the Jaguars, who had only 7 plays in the 3rd quarter. Saints in Jaguars territory, 2nd and 6. Brees finds the open man. It's Meacham. Slips 1 tackle. Shoved out of bounds by Darrell Smith. He made Rasheed Mathis miss. And a first down for the Saints at the 39-yard line.
Watch Meacham on his route. Just a quick out. Gets his feet up underneath him. Knifes in front of Rasheed Mathis, being able to make a nice play for the first down. You're seeing New Orleans take a page out of Jacksonville's playbook. Ball control, be patient, have some long drives.
Brees 29 for 37, 263 yards, and 1 touchdown. Puts it up again. This time deep for Graham. He's got it. The big tight end with great hands goes up and takes it away from Paul Posluszny. And the Saints a first down at the 10.
It's a similar route that Zach Miller had in the first half for the touchdown for Jacksonville. Jimmy Graham's now going to work the middle of the field. And Drew Brees, accuracy. Putting it on his back shoulder. Paul Posluszny actually has good coverage, but can't make the play because he can't see Drew make the throw.
Pierre Thomas on the carry, and he fights his way inside the 5 and down close to the 1-yard line. Good run by Pierre Thomas.
Pierre Thomas, the ball carrier.
A Terrific drive by the Saints that started at their 37. The ball spotted at the 2-yard line at 2nd and goal. Jed Collins, the fullback. Pierre Thomas, the carry. Try to go over the top, nothing there. That mountain was too high to climb. Darrell Smith on the stop, and a big one for Jacksonville.
Also on a play number 52, Darrell Smith.
Bring up a 3rd and goal, about 2.5 yards away.
No gain.
3 possessions in the red zone for the Saints. 2 touchdowns, 1 field goal.
Here's the game for the Jaguars, Sam. Touchdown makes it very difficult. Keep them to a field goal. 2 scores still win the football game.
3 wide receivers. Sproles in the backfield. Fake to Sproles. The pass batted down. Postlosny with a great play. A good fake by Breeze, but Postlosny read the pass.
Well, you're going to see Postlosny right here not take the play action fake from Drew Brees. He just checks it, but he steps right into the passing lane. Drew is expecting that middle linebacker to take that play action fake, and then he's going to dart that ball inside there.
And for the 3rd time in a row, the Jacksonville defense holding the Saints to a field goal. This one will be a 20-yard try officially. John Casey puts it through. He's 3 for 4 in the game, 9 for 10 on the season. The Saints have the only points of the second half. It's 23-10. 11 plays, 60 yards, 5 minutes, 24 seconds. 6 of the Saints' 8 drives this game have been 9 plays or more.
And Drew Brees talked about that in our meeting, Sam. He said we may have to have some long drives. With the style of defense that Jacksonville plays, we're going to have to be patient.
Morstead's kick goes flying over the crossbar. And the Jaguars will start from the 20. How about Blaine Gabbert today, Chad?
Well, you're seeing a young quarterback work his way through some things. He makes a great touchdown pass, and then he forces a ball into coverage. But there's definitely some talent. There's definitely some ability here for Blaine Gabbert to be a nice quarterback and an effective quarterback in this league.
But the Saints have done a great job on him in the second half. He's only 0 for 2, and this is only the 8th play of the second half for the Jaguars. And the toss to Maurice Jones-Drew. 2 blockers in front of him. Getting outside, and he's taken out at the 24. Busy day in the NFL, and Kurt's got it all covered. Kurt, what's happening?
Well, Sam, Tony Romo has thrown back-to-back interceptions returned for touchdowns by the Lions defense. Bobby Carpenter did the first. This time it's Chris Houston, 56 yards on the score. The Lions, once down 27-3, have now pulled it within 10 in the 3rd quarter.
Maybe the Lions aren't out of magic yet, Chad.
Wow, the importance of ball security shows you there.
Gabbert throwing, and that ball is intercepted. No, drop. Jabari Greer almost took it away from Mike Thomas. 8 straight incompletions now for
Pressure by
Blaine
Greg
Gabbert.
Williams again. You're going to see Jabari Greer one-on-one with Mike Thomas. He jumps the in route. The reason it's not an interception, he couldn't hang on to it and get up with it once he hit the ground.
Like a receiver there, he's got to go through with the catch. The ball came loose. 8 straight incompletions thrown by Blaine Gabbert going back to the first half.
Come on, Brad.
Jacksonville 3 for 10 on 3rd down conversions. Everybody out. Pressure on Gabbert, and they've got him. 3rd sack of the game for the Saints as they drop Gabbert back at the 16-yard line. Will Smith was the first man there.
Certainly a pressure sack, and this is what Greg Williams talks about. If we can separate the score, I can give Blaine Gabbert some different looks. You're going to see the pressure from the right side come. He just doesn't have a chance to step up and hit one of those crossing routes and get the ball out of his hands.
2 sacks in the game for Will Smith. Roman Harper has the other. The Saints have 13 sacks thus far in 4 games this season, and for the Jaguars, another 3 and out. So their offense has totally stalled as the Saints defense has put a lot of pressure on Blaine Gabbert. Matt Turk with a high kick. Sproles has it outside the numbers. looking for some running room, and he's got a little bit. Spinning his way up to the 40-yard line. The very dangerous Darren Sproles with a punt return to the 40, and the Saints with a 13-point lead. Tough second half for Blaine Gabbert and the Jacksonville offense. They've had only 10 plays in the second half.
And what he's learning, Sam, is how to play complementary football. How do you complement your defense? When they get a stop or they keep an offense to a field goal, you have to get another drive to keep them off the field and go down and get points. 3 and outs cannot be something that you major in.
No, you said it right at the top as far as New Orleans is concerned. Their defensive game plan is get the ball back for Drew Brees in the offense.
Separate the score through turnovers and get it back to Drew.
From the 40. Brees checks it off. Jed Collins, the fullback, shifts. Brees looking sideline, nobody open, and he takes it up to the 45 and steps out of bounds. Pickup of 5 on the play. The one negative for Drew Brees last year, he had minus yards rushing. Can you believe that?
Well, for a quarterback, you'd like to be in the positive because you're going to take some sacks. That creates the negative rushing yards. But if you can have a few scrambles and get that thing to 0, especially for guys like Drew, you like that.
He's got 2 carries for 11 yards today. Here's 2nd and 5 for the Saints, who've been eating up the clock. Mark Ingram is at running back, and it's Ingram finding an opening, getting 3 up to the 48-yard line.
Martin Ingram, the ball carrier.
How about the Saints running game?
Well, when you look at the running game, it starts with the Saints guards, Carl Nix and Jari Evans, being able to push the middle of the defense. And then you look at the balance that New Orleans has with Sproles, Ingram, and Thomas, being able to run effectively, run with a purpose. And sometimes you even get an assist for a first down.
Here's 3rd and 2 for the Saints. Sproles. And he's got enough for the first down. As he gets into Jaguars territory. For the Saints, their season average 100 yards. Today, 165. They've had a couple of big runs in this game.
And this is where you see Sean Payton paying attention to the game. What kind of game is it? It's a game that I need to use my running game and force our will upon the Jaguars defense right now and burn this clock.
First down with Ingram in the backfield. Brees to put it up. And off the hands, and it's intercepted by the Jaguars. DeJuan Landry came up with the ball. It was tipped, bouncing around in the air, and Landry able to come up with a pick. 2nd turnover of the game for the Saints. And the Jaguars have a chance. They trail by 13. Jaguars with a big opportunity, but they've got to make something happen here on offense from their own 46. Down 23-10. Maurice Jones-Drew, little cutback, and he gets into Saints territory. See what's happened in the second half for Jacksonville. Just 10 offensive plays. Punt, interception. Now with the turnover, Blaine Gabbert trying to make something happen. He has not completed a pass here in the second half. And going back to the first half, he's had 8 straight incompletions. Jones and Jones-Drew in the backfield. Here's Maurice Jones-Drew. Not much there. Saints closed it down in a hurry. Roman Harper in on the tackle. Bring up a 3rd and 4. Gabbert, who had a good first half with the second half, they've done a great job on him.
Well, they've only had 3 possessions. One of those was a turnover, and now it's time for the Jaguars offense to complement their defense. Their defense has gotten a turnover. It's now time to turn that turnover into some points.
There's a big 3rd down play for the Jaguars. Mike Thomas motions. Blitz coming from the outside. Will Smith got a piece of Gabbert. He gets away. Still being chased. Cam Jordan forces him out of bounds. There's a flag on the play on the far side.
Blaine Gabbert on the carry. Flag on the play.
The first-round draft pick defensive end Cameron Jordan did a good job of chasing Blaine Gabbert out.
It could possibly be a defensive penalty here in the secondary, Sam.
Holding, defense, number 58. It's a 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Big break for the Jaguars. Scott Shanley, the linebacker, called for holding, and it gives the Jaguars a first down.
You could see where the flag was thrown. Normally when a flag is thrown right there in the secondary area in the flat, it's normally some type of defensive holding or defensive penalty, and that's exactly what happened. This may be the spark that Jacksonville needs to get this drive in the end zone.
Well, the clock starting to wind down in the middle of the fourth quarter. Jaguars need something here out of this possession. Ball spotted just inside the Saints 44-yard line.
I look for some type of play action pass here. Allow Blaine Gabbert to drop back and try to find one of his receivers across the middle of the field.
They split tight end Zach Miller out wide. Two tight ends in. Jones Drew in the backfield. There's the fake. The rush is on. Gabbert gets rid of it. It's incomplete. Big pressure flag on the play. A hit out of bounds. That time it's Jonathan Casillas, so the Saints take back-to-back penalties.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 52. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, first down.
Two costly penalties taken by the Saints.
What happens, it's a one-step rule. If the defender can hit the quarterback within the one step, it's not a penalty, but he took more than one step, hits the quarterback, the official's going to call that every time for a personal foul.
Fifth penalty of the game against the Saints. 4 on the defense. And the Jaguars at the Saints 29-yard line. Jones Drew gets through the hole, gets a nice pickup on first down to the 23-yard line. Sean Rogers made the tackle. The Saints brought in a couple of big defensive tackles in free agency. Abrea Franklin, who was with San Francisco, and Sean Rogers. They needed to get bigger inside, and they've done just that.
And this was the game that Greg Williams said, this is why we brought you guys here, to stop this running game.
Here's Jones Drew on the cutback. And Roman Harper is in on the tackle, along with Cameron Jordan. Ball down to the 20-yard line.
Dirk Cutter still staying true to the run, but obviously with the time, 7:22 and counting, the passing game has to take over to put some points on the board.
Here's another big third down play. On 3rd and 2, short drop. Gabbert throws, incomplete. Roman Harper all over Zach Miller, the intended receiver. Brings up a 4th down.
I thought maybe they would try to work the matchup with Maurice Jones-Drew on the linebacker Shanley, but he does a great job covering Jones-Drew. Blaine Gabbert goes to the opposite side. Solid coverage from the Saints defense.
Fourth down and 2 for the Jaguars. And the Saints call a timeout to talk things over.
Timeout New Orleans.
Saints have a 23-10 lead. Looking for a stop against Blaine Gabbert and the Jaguars. Jacksonville Jaguars down 23-10. A 4th and 2 just inside the 20-yard line. Saints defense looking to stop the Jaguars and maintain control of this game. What do you look for on 4th and 2?
If I'm Jacksonville, I have 2 options. 1, give it to MJD, give it to Jones-Drew, let him make something happen. Or 2, get Gabbert out in space with a run-pass option.
2 tight ends to the right side. Fullback in. Now Miller motions. The play fake. Gabbert puts it up. for Mercedes Lewis. It's overthrown. It's incomplete. Malcolm Jenkins covering on the play against Mercedes Lewis.
Pass incomplete, intended for number 89, Mercedes Lewis.
Just a little too far for the big guy.
Just missed the throw, just a little too far. Big target. Malcolm Jenkins, you got to give him credit. Nice coverage on Mercedes Lewis.
10 straight incompletions for Blaine Gabbert going back to the first half. Anything you see, is it the defense that made an adjustment?
Well, the Saints defense has done a really good job of getting some pressure on Gabbert, not allowing him to be comfortable in the pocket. In the first half, he was comfortable in the pocket. In the second half, he's been unable to get into a rhythm.
So the Jaguars come up empty. The Saints have the ball at the 20-yard line. Mark Ingram straight ahead. Doesn't get much, maybe a yard on the play. And the Saints, who have played ball control in this game, have gotten good production from their three backs, will look to maintain possession and run off as much of the clock as they can.
This is where Coach Payton talks about throw early but run to win. If you want to win these type of games late in the game with a lead, you must be able to establish the line of scrimmage and have some push. And of course, they come out in an empty set on second down.
Right. That's the New Orleans Saints. Four-man rush. Breeze doesn't find anybody open. Throws it into the ground. Time for another update. Kurt's got it all covered. Kurt, what's happening?
Hey, the Lions are doing the comeback thing again. Calvin Johnson, triple covered, still goes up and gets this one from Matthew Stafford. League-leading 7th touchdown reception of the season, And once down 24, the Lions are within 6 and have the ball in the fourth quarter. Sam and Chad.
Guess what? That Detroit team's for real.
Wow. How about Calvin Johnson? Wow. Triple coverage. Sometimes there's just no defense.
Here's a 3rd and 9 for the Saints. Again, working out with a shotgun, empty backfield, 3 wide receivers. Pressure, Postlosny's got him again. Paul Postlosny coming up with a couple of big plays for the Jaguars defense. 2nd sack of the game for the Jaguars.
Instead of playing coverage, you're going to see the pressure from the left side of the offensive line. Postlosny trying to work inside, and that's where the inside pressure comes from. If you want to sack an NFL quarterback, get pressure inside where he can't step up in the pocket.
Jaguars defense has done an outstanding job. Thomas Morstead with a good punt. His mom will like that. On the return, it's Cecil Shorts, the rookie out of Mount Union. 4th round draft pick is brought down at the 36-yard line. Well, next weekend, it's FX Saturday College Football Game of the Week. It's Texas Tech and Texas A&M, a famed rivalry. Charles Davis, Gus Johnson will be in Lubbock, Texas to call it for you. It's the FX Saturday College Football Game of the Week. Next weekend in high definition only on FX. Check your local listings for the start time in your area. So the Jaguars from the 36 with 5:36 remaining and 2 timeouts. Blaine Gabbert, who has thrown 10 consecutive incompletions, needs to get something going in a hurry. Everybody out. Gabbert steps up. That pass is caught by Mike Thomas. Diving grab by Thomas, close to the first down line, just short, about a yard short. They spotted at the 45.
Now you're going to see Jacksonville, okay, we can't use the run anymore. We have to get into our no huddle, hurry up offense, down by 10 scores with only 5 minutes left.
So that nasty streak is over. Gabbert's first completion of the second half. Again, everybody out. He was looking for a cut to the outside by Cecil Shorts. Shorts, the rookie, cut inside. So some confusion on that play.
This is really good work for Blaine Gabbert. He's getting so many different looks. He gets some pressure off the edge. He's just unable to get the football to Mike Thomas. He gets tripped up from the corner.
On 3rd down, they've got the first on a hard run. And look at Maurice Jones-Drew stay on his feet and get down to the 36-yard line.
What a run by Jones-Drew, and this is why they love this guy here in Jacksonville. Dirk Cutter says when this guy gets the football, He is relentless with the football. Listen to the contact here.
Malcolm Jenkins tried to bring him down, and he couldn't. Gabbert throws and completes to Cheston West. West recently picked up from the Green Bay practice squad.
Sam, it looks as if Gabbert's headset is out. He's not really getting the plays in his helmet. He's having to go to the sideline to get the plays from Dirk Cutter, being able to run this no-huddle offense.
Cheston West with his first NFL reception. As the Jaguars drive to the 20, Gabbert steps back and throws, almost intercepted. He wanted to go to Mike Thomas, went off the hands of Tracy Porter. Porter knows he had a big chance.
Really nice coverage by Tracy Porter. Blaine Gabbert trying to put it into the seam, and Tracy Porter plays outside on Mike Thomas and funnels him into the free safety. Going to do a push-up here. Thinks he should have had a pick.
2nd and 10. And again, everybody out. Gabbert in trouble, throwing high, but it was caught by Jared Dillard, and he's brought down for a loss. And that time was Tracy Porter again coming up with a play. Maurice Jones-Drew, 11 carries, 84 yards, one big one of 41. But here, 3rd and 11 for the Jaguars. Jones-Drew in the backfield. Make that Deji Kareem in the backfield with Gabbert. Everybody out now. Gabbert gets time. And the pass through the hands of Jason Hill, who was tiptoeing the sideline. And now another 4th down coming up for Jacksonville. For the game, Blaine Gabbert 15 for 37. Had a real good first half where he passed for over 160 yards. But shut down for most of the second half. And the Jags 0 for 2 on 4th down tries in this game. They have to get to the 10-yard line. Pressure coming. Gabbert throws, and it's knocked away. Jabari Greer covering Cecil Shorts. Put the arm in and batted the ball away. Good defensive work by the Saints secondary.
Saints will go 1st and 10 in the row, 21 yard line.
4th downs in the game for Jacksonville.
You can see the lack of execution on 4th down. Having receivers open, or at least a chance to make the 1st down, and not being able to convert the 4th down into a 1st down. Gabbert did a nice job recognizing the one-on-one coverage with Cecil Shorts and Jabari Greer, but Greer really does a nice job of coming in front of the receiver and making a play.
So the Saints, with 3:24 remaining, take over. And Mark Ingram takes it outside, killing some time off the clock. Jacksonville has 2 timeouts remaining, but the Saints with a 23-10 lead. First of 3 consecutive road games for the Saints. They will go to Carolina next week and meet up with young Cam Newton, who's had another strong game today against the Chicago Bears, and then go to Tampa Bay in a big division, another division game.
And Sean Payton thought that this game was really important. He said if you aspire to be a great team, you have to win a game like this, one that you're expected to win.
Jaguars continue to be in search of consistent offense. Breeze gets time, puts it up deep. Jimmy Graham's got it. And the tight end rumbles down the sideline. And he's taken down by Dwight Lowry. Another big play to Jimmy Graham. 59 yards.
And there's the beauty of Drew Brees and Sean Payton. Sean Payton believing in Drew Brees. You see Jimmy Graham coming out of the backfield, faking the flat route, turning it up on the linebacker Clint Sessions. Drew Brees with his accuracy, putting the ball right on the money. Nice pitch and catch. But that's the confidence that Payton has in Drew. I'm going to put the ball in your hands. I'm not just going to use my running game here late in the game. You make the decision and make the throw.
10 catches, 132 yards for Jimmy Graham. You have him in your fantasy team? You're having a good day. He had 4 catches for 100 last week. Saints want to talk things over here. 2:29 remaining. And let's go down to the sideline. Jennifer Hale, what's happening?
Jimmy Graham just absolutely dazzled in this second half. Lewis, the other tight end for the Jags. Basketball.
We apologize for the technical difficulties we had. And there's Sean Payton working that play card. Boy, was he a busy guy this weekend. He went to Dallas to see his daughter, who's a cheerleader, cheer for her school. Then he came back to New Orleans, watched his son play football, and then he flew to Jacksonville.
The life of a head coach in the NFL.
Saints have scored 4 times in this game when they've gotten to the red zone. Here they are again. That pass for Marcus Colston is incomplete. Colston, as we mentioned, coming back from the injury. They wanted to get him 12 to 15 snaps in the game just to get him back into the groove.
They certainly wanted to work him in. That's why you would see him in the 3 wide receiver packages and the 4 wide receiver packages. Didn't start the game. They want to work him in slowly and not allow this shoulder to take a step back.
Ball at the 18-yard line. Saints with the only points of the second half. 3 John Casey field goals. Pierre Thomas, the running back. Breeze checking off. And looks like the play. Oh, it's a penalty.
Second down.
Took too much time. It's delay of the game. What happens there at the line of scrimmage, Chad? What are you seeing? What does the quarterback see that makes him change things?
Well, I saw Payton give Drew Brees a couple of packages there, a couple of plays in a package. He didn't like the first play. He was trying to get to the second play, and the time clock ran out on him.
Now you see what the Saints have done in the red zone in this game. Saints got off to a 14-0 lead. Jaguars cut it to 14-10 at halftime. Here's the blitz coming, and down goes Drew Brees. 3rd sack of the game for the Jaguars. A little pushing and shoving afterwards as the offensive lineman took exception to some of the rough play and maybe the way Brees was handled.
You've got to give it to the Jacksonville defense. They've done a nice job here in the second half, limiting the New Orleans Saints to field goals, and they're just learning how to play complementary football with this young quarterback.
Sorry, Chad. Tyson Alu gets credit for the sack, and this is afterwards. Oh, that's Terrence Knighton, the other tackle.
Well, in their defense, I don't think they heard a whistle, so they didn't know whether or not Drew was touched or if he just went down on his own. So they were trying to finish the play.
That's their second. It's a 30-second timeout.
Jaguars use a timeout with 2:15 remaining, and you can see Sean Payton. He wants to get Ed Hockley over, I believe. But no, he's calling his offensive lineman over. All right. Last week, Drew Brees was up against the Houston Texans, and they pressured him, and there was a hit that they thought might have been a little bit late, but then some big plays by Drew Brees. He hit Jimmy Graham, he hit Lance Moore, and a big second half comeback by the Saints as they won it 40-33. This game, the Saints have played with the lead. Ball back to the 32. Brees steps to the side, throws deep, has a man, but he's out of bounds. Devery Henderson was out of bounds when he caught the ball.
Pass is ruled incomplete. 4th down.
Let's look at the feed here. Henderson going to be in the pocket of the cover 2 defense. As he tries to make the play, 1's in, 2 is not. Nice call by the official there. Aggressive call by Sean Payton on 3rd down.
He went for it. Field goal kicking unit comes out. John Casey, who missed from 53 earlier in the game. has hit 3 in a row. Now the Saints with the
Timeout, New Orleans.
clock winding down. They call a timeout.
30 seconds.
Let's go down to the field again to Jennifer Hale. Jennifer.
Well, guys, that hit that we just watched on Drew Brees, that sack, kind of reminds you of the hit he took last week late in the game against the Texans. Drew says that fired them up, put some fire in their bellies, and was a little bit of extra motivation to close out that fourth quarter, one of the highest scoring fourth quarters for the Saints ever last week. So let's see what this one does. Does it spark the same type of emotion with 2 minutes and 9 seconds left to go here, guys?
Well, I don't know that they need a spark, Jennifer. They're in solid control here as they look to go up by 16. Casey with a 50-yard try. Garrett Hartley went down with a hip injury. He's been put on IR. He had signed a 5-year contract. Casey was brought in. And this one is hooked wide right. So he's missed the long distance ones.
Field goal attempt failed. Ball returns to the spot of the
So the ball will be spotted at the 40-yard line. And the Jaguars with 2:04 remaining and 1 timeout. We're going to have to work a miracle here.
Work a miracle, but you want to see your young quarterback operate your no-huddle offense. Take what the defense is giving him. Use this as a teaching tool. And if something really good happens where you can get a quick score, now you're back in the ball game.
Gabbert works out of the shotgun. Maurice Jones-Drew in the backfield. 3 wide receivers. Gabbert going short to Mercedes Lewis, and he's brought down at the 47-yard line, and the Jaguars try to get something going. We've reached the 2-minute warning with 1:57 on the clock. Jaguars have had a favorable history at home against NFC South teams, but unless they come up with a miracle, that streak is about to end. Blaine Gabbert with 1:57 and 1 timeout. Down by 13 points. Pressure, and the pass is behind the intended receiver, Cecil Shorts. Shorts was drafted in the 4th round out of Mount Union. Jaguars play at home next week against Cincinnati, then go to Pittsburgh, home against Baltimore, and at Houston. And some tough games coming up. Here's 3rd and 3. Everybody out. Gabbert throws, and it's dropped. Mike Thomas, the intended receiver. Thomas has had a good game with 5 catches. Turned a short pass into a long gainer in the first half. But overall, Saints' pass defense has been good, especially in the second half.
They have been good in the second half. They've done a lot of multiple things trying to get pressure on Blaine Gabbert. In this situation, Blaine has found his one-on-one opportunities. It's just a lack of execution. That's something that's going to have to come with time.
Gabbert 16 for 40, 4 for 16 in the second half. On 4th down, and it's broken up. Jonathan Vilma on the pass intended for Maurice Jones-Drew, and once again, 4th down try by Jacksonville fails. And the Saints take over on downs with 1:45 remaining. Saints, Jonathan Vilma back in. You talk about leaders. We talk about Drew Brees, the leader on offense. Jonathan Vilma, the leader on defense for the New Orleans Saints. Here's how the quarterbacks have done. Drew Brees, 2 interceptions. He won't be happy with that. 351 yards and 1 touchdown, and he's thrown a touchdown pass in 31 consecutive games, the 3rd longest streak in NFL history. Ingram with some power gets inside the 45 to the 43.
Timeout, Jacksonville.
Last season,
Final timeout. 30 seconds.
Martin Ingram on the carry.
last season for the New Orleans Saints, their running game fell apart because of injuries. But this season, they've got depth at the running back position. The addition of Darren Sproles gives them that breakaway speed, and then you got the power running of Mark Ingram as well as Pierre Thomas. It's a real good threesome.
Well, they're unique in being one of the NFL teams. They have playmakers all over the field. They have depth at the wide receiver position, depth at the running back position. It's something that's really nice for Drew Brees to have.
Now, how about Blaine Gabbert? What does a young quarterback take out of a game like this?
Well, I think it's a tale of two halves for Blaine Gabbert. He'll be able to look at the first half, be proud of his work, be proud of what his offense was able to do, and then he looks at the second half and say, this is a teaching tool. I've got to learn from my mistakes. I've got to look at the different types of pressures and the different types of coverages that I'm getting and learn from it.
Well, there's no doubt that they are building the team around Blaine Gabbert. The controversy late in preseason, David Garrard was released. Luke McCown took over for 2 games, and then Jack Del Rio felt that Blaine Gabbert was ready to take the helm early in his pro career, but he felt he was ready. And now it's just on-the-job training for the young man. Ingram, and he's got the first down. And the Saints will run out the clock and win their 3rd in a row and go 3-1. The Jaguars, 3rd loss in a row. They go to 1-3. And for Sean Payton, though the offense didn't reach 30 points, certainly they did a lot of good things, especially ball control.
You certainly have to win a game like this the way they did with ball control in the running game, big plays in the passing game.
AT&T postgame show is coming up next. We'll bring you back to Jacksonville to wrap things up here. The New Orleans Saints defeat the Jacksonville Jaguars 23-10. The veteran coaches acknowledge one another. Saints are winners. And we'll be back in Jacksonville in a moment.